Let me ask you something. What if all the struggles in your life, all the hard parts, what if they were never actually obstacles at all? What if they were more like precise coordinates on a map, guiding you exactly where you need to go? It's a pretty big question to start with, I know, but it's really at the heart of the journey we're about to explore together. You see, the story we're unpacking today really kicks off with this simple but powerful idea. It suggests that any great climb, any journey we take on the outside, has to start with a journey on the inside first. It's not about conquering some mountain out there. It's about getting quiet enough to meet that voice inside of you that honestly already knows the way. And this is the central riddle for us today. It kind of challenges everything we think we know about success, about reaching the top, about what it even means to be up there. We're going to explore this whole thing through a fascinating difference between height and displacement. And trust me, that distinction is the key that unlocks a really powerful story about consciousness itself. Okay, so our story, which is drawn from elements of real-life experiences, begins at what feels like the very edge of the world. Picture a man standing on a Himalayan peak. He's not there to plant a flag or celebrate a victory. No, he's there searching for a silence so absolute that it might just quiet the noise of his own grief. He's chasing the person he used to be before loss completely hollowed him out. Now, this brings us to a really cool little lesson in geography. We all think of Mount Everest as the highest point on Earth, right? Because it's the tallest when you measure from sea level. But here's the catch. The Earth isn't a perfect sphere. It actually bulges a little at the equator. This means that Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador is technically the point on Earth that's farthest from the planet's core. And this is just the perfect metaphor for our guy's state of mind. He feels like he's reached this incredible height, but in reality, he's just as far away from his own center, from his own heart, as he could possibly be. And that, right there, is the core of his crisis. He's looking out from the roof of the world, and he doesn't feel elevated. He feels displaced. He's become just like Chimborazo. He's achieved an incredible altitude, but he's fundamentally cut off from the very ground of his own being. But gravity, well, gravity always remembers our name. And here, the story shifts dramatically. We go from the thin, sterile air of the mountain to the thick, heavy pull of memory. And he's about to learn a crucial lesson. Coming down from the peak, returning to the world you tried so hard to escape, that's a much, much harder climb. So what's the catalyst? This. A letter that's been waiting for him unopened. A message from his late father that isn't just about bricks and wood. It's about the collapse of a foundation, of a family line, of the entire world he left behind. You see, you can escape a mountain. You can't escape this. He returns to Lagos, Nigeria, and the contrast is just immediate and totally overwhelming. The door of the airplane opens, and he's not hit by air. He's hit by what feels like a fist of heat and life. It's the complete sensory opposite of the mountain's cold, quiet purity. The city is this beautiful, chaotic symphony. You've got car horns, people yelling in the market, music blasting from speakers everywhere. It feels like an orchestra with no conductor, and yet, somehow, it all works together. He's been thrown from absolute silence into absolute sound. And you know, unlike the silence on Everest, which felt so indifferent, this noise is alive. It's relational. It doesn't ignore you. It actually makes a space for you. And he starts to wonder, maybe faith isn't found by running away from the world. Maybe it's about learning how to find your own rhythm inside all of its beautiful, chaotic noise. His journey home eventually leads him to the ruins of his family house, a place that was literally washed away by floods. The physical devastation out there is a perfect mirror for the devastation he feels inside. But it's here, right in the middle of all that wreckage, that he finds one last lesson from his mother. A neighbor shares his mother's philosophy about loss, how she believed that death isn't an end, it's a translation. The people we lose don't just disappear. Their physical form gets translated into the meaning that we carry forward with us. They stop being a person, and they become a principle, a voice, a guide. And then he finds it, the proof. In her old Bible, the pages all swollen and warped by the damp air, he finds a note she wrote in the margin, in Yoruba, a final hidden instruction meant just for him. The note reads, Shibuma shidi okota. It means, don't turn to stone. It's a direct warning against his natural instinct to harden himself against pain, to build up walls of logic and distance. She knew that turning to stone doesn't actually protect you. It just makes you cold and brittle, and eventually destined to shatter. So now he has the instruction, but how in the world does he live it? The answer shows up completely unexpectedly. When the last ruined wall of the family compound finally collapses, the community, they just show up. Uninvited, unpaid, and absolutely unstoppable. In this part of the world, you see, tragedy isn't a private event, it's a community workday. And what they do isn't just construction, it's a ritual. The collapse of that wall isn't an end, it's a beginning. The gathering of people, the music, the work they all share, it becomes a kind of communal healing. And as they light a fire to burn away the debris, a new metaphor is revealed. And that's when he finally understands his mother's message. Don't be stone, because stone gets destroyed by pressure. Be clay. Clay is soft, it yields, but when it goes through the fire of grief, of trials, of community, it doesn't shatter. It hardens into something new, something stronger, something that's capable of holding life. The new wall stands, but it's not perfect. It gets tested by storms, and the rushed work leaves behind cracks and scars. But instead of trying to hide them, he learns to see them as a testament to the wall's history, to its survival. This connects so beautifully to the Japanese art of kintsugi. It's when broken pottery is repaired with gold lacquer. So the cracks aren't hidden, they're actually highlighted, they're celebrated. The whole philosophy is that the object is more beautiful for having been broken. And he realizes that applies to the human spirit too. And so the journey comes full circle. He returns to the mountain, but not to run away from the world this time. He's there to bring a piece of it with him. He carries a small shard of brick from the rebuilt wall in Lagos, a piece of fire-cured clay, all the way to the highest peaks. This is the ultimate lesson of his journey. You don't climb a mountain to escape what's on the ground. You climb it to gain the altitude, to get the perspective, to see clearly enough to understand how to return home and live with depth, with purpose, with all your scars. Which leaves us with one final lingering question. After seeing a journey so guided by unexpected letters and chance encounters and messages from the past, you have to wonder, are you truly writing your own story? Or are you a character, a variable, playing a part in a much grander, unseen design?